Draymond Green.
Metta world peace.
Draymond Green.
Metta world peace.
Draymond Green.
Metta world peace.
Triangle at two. Box and one. We see a block from Green. Curry. Perfect feed. Back to Green for the slam. What an outstanding highlight with defense beginning offense.
Every aspect of this was there. Look at all of the rotations. Draymond Green just hustling, gets the block.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two of the fiercest defenders to ever lock down opponents.
Trying to score on him in his prime is like a lonely matador facing a raging bull.
Their defensive styles as cerebral as they are physical.
He changed his name the way that he changed opponents' shots.
Their strength and agility led to dominance on the wing and in the paint.
Thinking about challenging these two at the rim? Think again.
We are proud to present to you Draymond Green and Metta World Peace. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we are here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
So we're talking Draymond Green. We are talking about Metta World Peace. Maurice, why are we comparing these two today?
Both of them are known as versatile defenders. Both of them are known to be very intense. I'll put it like that on the basketball court. There's a lot of good similarities between the two of them.
Lucas, what about you?
I think there are few players in NBA history that makes defense an art, and these two definitely are on that list.
Ben?
I would say that both guys can truly guard 1 through 5. They're the kind of the glue to win a championship.
Yeah, everything you guys just said, I can echo, but particularly Maurice, the whole intensity component of both of these players will always stand out to me, and not always a negative thing. I think the easiest thing to go to with highlights with these guys is the bad stuff that happened because of their passion for the game. But we're going to focus on a lot of the positive things that these two guys brought to the NBA.
First quarter, background.
Let's get started. We're going to be talking about Dre, a.k.a. Day-Day, a.k.a. the Dancing Bear. But before he got those nicknames, he was born Draymond Jamal Green on March 4th, 1990 in Saginaw, Michigan, to Mary Babers and Wallace Davis. His parents, unfortunately, divorced when he was an adolescent, and he grew up in a poor neighborhood in Saginaw inside a tiny 3-bedroom home with his brothers and sisters. His junior year at his high school, he averaged 25 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. That season, Draymond led Saginaw to a 26-1 record and the Class A state championship. During his senior season, he averaged 20 points, 13 boards, and 2 block shots. He led his team to a second consecutive state title. His number 32 jersey was retired later on at his high school. So let's go with Lucas first. What stands out to you about Draymond in his early years?
I remember listening to a podcast, and I think it was the JJ Redick podcast. And when Draymond was talking about his youth, he talked about how his favorite player was Shaq, and he wanted to dominate people physically, but he was too short. So his coach at the time really focused on him developing his skills as a guard. So not only did he have the physical presence, because that's how he liked to play, and that's how I like to play, he also had the guard skills to back it up for his size.
Ben, what about you?
The points, and it does kind of with what Lucas just said, it does make sense that 6'6", I imagine he was that in high school, is big for high school. So he was able to probably bully guys down there. Yeah, it's interesting because his offensive game is kind of he's not regressed, but he's chosen to not utilize that as much, obviously with his teammates. So I would say that was something, even going through his accolades, that I noticed too. I was like, oh wow, this dude, similar like Pat Beverly, these guys offensively I've always had the skills. And so I see that kind of with the 25 points in high schools a lot.
Yeah, started early with him. Maurice, what about you?
Even in high school, he averaged 13 rebounds per game, which is really good for a high school player. That's really good. And it equated to success. Everywhere Draymond's been, high school, college, professional, he's been a winner. In high school, 26-1 record. Pretty darn good.
That's a good grab with the being a winner going back to his teenage years. It's interesting. Let's now talk about Draymond's college career. A lot of people probably know that he attended Michigan State. The one thing I want to emphasize here, I'm going to play an audio clip of Draymond having this to say about his eventual college coach, Tom Izzo.
You know, he always say to me, Draymond, you've done so much for me, but the reality is he's done so much for me and teaching me what it was to work hard. Like I got to Michigan State, I didn't have a clue of what working hard was, you know, like teaching me how to carry myself, holding me accountable, right. Teaching me further understanding my understanding of the game of basketball.
So there's Draymond just opening up, being honest about his transition from high school to college. So I'll give you some quick numbers related to his college career. So as a Spartan his freshman year, Draymond was 6'7". He didn't play much. He only averaged, get this, 3 points, 3 rebounds. But his next season, it had a big jump. He went from those minuscule numbers, to 10 points, close to 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. That season, he won the Sixth Man of the Year for the Big Ten. Eventually, he would help lead Michigan State to the Final Four his junior year and to the Sweet 16 his senior year. All right, I got an over-under for you guys. How many triple-doubles did Draymond record in his college career? I'll give you 4 over-under. Maurice?
Under.
I'm going to say under 2.
I'm going to say over.
And the answer is under.
Hey.
He had 3. According to Spartans Wire, he is the only college player to ever record 2 triple-doubles in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, crazy, right? Draymond started 27 games as a junior and recorded a pair of triple-doubles, I just mentioned, including 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which was a loss to UCLA. As a senior, Green averaged 16 points, 11 rebounds, and close to 4 assists, and he won the Big Ten Player of the Year. He had another triple-double in the NCAA tournament his final year at Michigan State. To finish things off his college career, Draymond grabbed 1,094 rebounds, the most in Michigan State history. He entered the 2012 NBA draft, being drafted by the Golden State Warriors.
With the 35th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Draymond Green from Michigan State University.
Big dancing bear from S1.E4, Big Ten Player of the Year. He's a versatile inside-out forward that just knows how to play. He's a high-volume rebounder. In fact, he's Michigan State's all-time leading rebounder. You can put him down in the post. He's an excellent passer out of there. He's a pick-and-pop big. He's a bit undersized, but because of his length and his ability to rebound, he can really help you. I thought he was a late first-round talent, but this early in the second round, he's a really good value.
All right, Maurice, what did you take away from those Draymond college numbers?
One thing that stands out to me is in the NCAA tournament in 2012, he joined Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson as the third player in NCAA history to have 2 career triple-doubles in this NCAA tournament. It just tells me, again, versatile player, even at the college level, and that would equate to the pros.
The number that really popped out to me is in that little draft soundbite that you had there, that he's the all-time leading rebounder at Michigan State. Let's think about that for example. Michigan State has been a long story college program in basketball. Yet, a guy that's 6'6", able to lead the league, have the all-time rebounding record for the school, is beyond impressive.
Yeah.
Kind of what Lucas said, the rebounding, because, Magic Johnson went there. There's some, he went there all 4 years, but even, guys like Mateen Cleaves and teams like that. But the fact that I was doing his accolades, I can't believe he slipped in the second round. I get that he's undersized, but, the Big Ten, man, you've got Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. There's some good schools. That's a good conference.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked he slid in the second round.
Draymond Green was surprised he slipped that much too. And in that interview with JJ Redick, they asked him, like, who's the one guy you should have been like, there's no way this guy should be ahead of me. And the guy's name is Andrew Nicholson. I don't know if you remember him.
I have no idea who that is.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. He was drafted by the Magic in the mid-first round. He was from St. Bonaventure. He lasted maybe 2-3 years in the NBA.
Draymond was a 4-year starter. In the early 2010s, getting drafted as a 4-year college starter was usually not a good thing. And for him to still be projected as a first-round pick, went in the second round, pretty good.
Well, the thing is, in another interview, Lucas, that I heard, Draymond went on record saying that there were several teams that promised him they were going to pick him if he was available. And this is from his interview. I had a promise from Indiana. He said, I had a promise if I was still there, Memphis would take me, Miami would take me. All of these teams told me that if I was still there, they would take me. None of them did. So, yeah, I think that tells you which teams blew it on him.
Yeah, and he might have been a victim of and it's weird, but he might have staying 4 years. People kind of look down, they're like, he's old. You see that in the draft, and you're like, I don't know if that's, but I feel like, especially in 2012, because he had a lot of, I feel like if he even came out maybe his junior year, he would have went higher.
Imagine Draymond on the Memphis Grizzlies.
Wow. It's time to talk about our other side of the comparison. We're going to talk about Beast, a.k.a. the Panda's Friend, a.k.a. Metta World Peace. But before he took on those names, he was born Ronald William Artest, November 13th, 1979, in Queensbridge, New York. As a child, Metta World Peace struggled with anger issues. His father told ESPN magazine that a lot of his son's anger came about because of his family falling apart. Now, he eventually was sent to anger management therapy to see a counselor, and the counselor was the one that recommended that he have an outlet for his anger. So basketball was suggested. Ron Artest also had to deal with heavy emotion after he lost his little sister to sudden infant death syndrome in 1995. He started getting good at basketball at a young age while helping get his intense emotions out. He played AAU ball. In an AAU tournament in Phoenix one time, he lost his temper on his own teammate and shoved him over a chair. So, Maurice, anything stand out to you about early childhood Metta World Peace?
Yeah, a lot of emotions. It will be interesting to see as he grew older into his NBA career, how he maintained that and kind of subdued some of that intensity as he progressed in the league.
It just goes to show you that you might have anger issues, but if you can find the proper outlet, anybody can deal with them. And I think maybe looking back, maybe football might have been a better way to do it, but basketball is a good sport too. Yeah. So I'm not going to complain. He gave us some good career snapshots of his life. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It sounds like he acknowledged he had some struggles later on, and he's got a pretty good positive outlook on life. So it is a shame that it kind of caught up with him, but I kind of like his journey that he had several chapters. So it's a good journey to see you do get second chances. So
yeah, great points. Dealing with anger and losing your sibling at such a young age had to be emotionally traumatizing for him. And also growing up in Queensbridge, not the safest neighborhood. And I have a clip for that later that I'll play. But let's get into some of his numbers. So Metta World Peace graduated from LaSalle Academy High School, 1997. It's noted that young Ron Artest would elbow bigger players, and he would actually step on their feet just to scare them. Now, although I don't have any high school stats for Metta World Peace, do you guys want to hear about his college career?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So he went on to play college at St. John's. He was coached by Fran Fraschilla, who also had a fiery personality. His coach told Metta how important he would be for the team's success For St. John's, Artest at the time was as physical in college as he was in the NBA. He ended up averaging 13 points, a little over 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and almost 2 steals and blocks per game. The Red Storm went 50-19 during his time there. He did make it to the NCAA tournament, 1997-98. St. John's lost to Detroit Mercy. The next season, before he went to the draft, he was able to help his team advance. They won their first 3 games before eventually losing to Ohio State. He had a double-double in the first round with 17 and 10 versus Samford. After 2 years at St. John's, he decided to enter the NBA draft.
Capone is like from Queensbridge.
Yeah.
I was there when Capone, he was running across the street, shot the cop. And then I don't know if he hit the cop. I was young, but I remember he shot. And I seen him running. He's a lefty. He played basketball. He lefty. I remember his shoe went to left. And I was like, wow.
Wait, so you were right there when Capone shot at a cop?
I think he let one off. Did some time. Then he came back, and then he had the video with Nori. You know, when he came home and Nori had him on the plane and everything with the mink on. I forget what video that was. Yeah. But yeah, I saw Pone had epic nights in the hood.
So clearly, I couldn't find his draft announcement, but I did find that clip to emphasize how dangerous his neighborhood was. He mentioned some well-known hip-hop artists, Capone, Noriega. So that tells you his upbringing and what he had to deal with day in and day out. But let's go back to sports. Anything about his St. John's experience? Ben, we'll go to you because I think you watched him during that era.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of Big East basketball back then, and I think he was the best player in the Big East, like from what I saw in that era. It would have been like the 98 draft. Yeah, he played more of a guard role, I remember, on that team. He played like a little bit of the point forward. He was a little bit more offensive minded. So when he kind of, it's similar to Draymond when he kind of created this like defensive dog mentality in the NBA. It was interesting to kind of see that transition. But I mean, a lot of NBA players, figure out what their role is in the league.
If you know college basketball, then you've heard the name Fran Fraschillo before. Now he's known as an ESPN analyst, but back in the day, he was one of the best coaches. And saying, that was the heyday of the Big East was during that time.
Right.
And, that's just a testament, he was just part of that history. And I think that's really cool from that perspective.
Yeah, going back to what Ben was saying, I think it was Ron Artest and Richard Hamilton who were the best 2 players in the Big East at that time. One thing that stands out to me is Draymond and Ron Artest are very similar, but Draymond went in the second round. Ron Artest went 16th in the first.
Right. Mm-hmm. He definitely was on the radar of the Bulls, who picked him in that first round, like you said. So I'll just sum my aspect up on his background. Is I think Lucas alluded to it earlier. It's, someone's journey going through trauma, finding an outlet, developing a passion, and eventually, he had this name change and a lot of other things that he's engaged with since retiring in the NBA. He's become a high school basketball coach for girls. So Metta World Peace is definitely has brought peace into his life in several ways. So did you guys know that his son plays in the G League? Did you guys know that?
He played for Delaware a couple years ago. I
knew Lucas would know that. Why would I even ask?
I remember hearing about him when he was in high school. He was pretty good, but I haven't heard about him since.
I don't think he's going to bust into the league, if I'm being honest. But good for him to get into the G League. That's still a pretty good feat.
Still a good accomplishment.
Yeah, good, Maurice. Good. Obviously, Rip Hamilton. I forgot about that. But yeah, Eric Barkley. I remember. I think Eric Barkley was a freshman, and he was they had like a really good backcourt. Oh. That was good. Yeah, you're right. Because the UConn had Khalid El-Amin. Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, the Big East was really good back then.
Second quarter. Statistics.
Here comes James. James drives down, bumps Iguodala, blocked by Green. Ball knocked loose out of bounds, and Cavs ball. Green again coming from the weak side. Says to LeBron James, not on my watch. Outstanding effort by the ultimate. Draymond Green defending against Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is deep. Rejected. Green. Curry fires one off.
This block right here, Draymond needs to be careful. He could get a technical as he's looking down at him, but only.
Denver has not scored in their last 5 possessions. Jokic with 37 into Green. Green stole the ball! Green stole the ball!
Hands up. Look at that. He had his eye on the ball the whole time.
So you just heard some of the highlights from Draymond Green's career. Let's get into the numbers now. So Draymond Green is listed at 6'6", 230 pounds. That being said, he's worn number 23 the whole time of his career. We're going to look at his best year, which was his first All-Star year, which was his 4th season. He averaged 14 points, 9.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, while shooting 49% from the field, 39% from the three-point line, and from the foul line, 69%. So, interesting fact. That was not the one season he has led the league in steals. He led the league in steals the following year, the 2016-17 season. But like I said, his career year was the 15-16 year, the first title that the Golden State Warriors won. Now, going to his career highs. I'm going to give you guys an over-under on this one. Over-under 20 assists as a career high.
Over.
And that offense, I'll say over.
I'll say over too.
All wrong.
Oh my God.
It was 19. Very close though. Very close. He got that career high 2020-21 season. But I understand where you guys got that from. He also had a career high scoring 31 points back in his 3rd season. He's had a career high 20 rebounds.
Monster.
Yeah, they do move the ball a lot. Now I think about it, they move the ball a lot.
And here's another over-under for you guys real quick. Over-under 9.5 steals as a career high.
9.5 steals? Oh, for one game.
Yeah, for one game.
Okay.
Over.
Ooh.
Over. I think he's gotten a triple-double like in an unusual way, so I'm going to say over.
I want to say under. That's so hard to do.
Ben and Maurice are correct. It is over at 10 steals. He's also had 6 blocks and 9 turnovers as career highs. So, just some interesting stats here. He's led the league once in steals, but he has a career average of 1.4 steals per game. His best assists year was actually in the 2021 season when he averaged 8.9. And outside of that 1 year, his first All-Star season, hasn't shot above 35% in any 1 year from the three-point line. So, what are your thoughts? I'll start with Uriah.
Wow, I think his best season he averaged 7.5 assists, but you just said in another season he averaged almost 9 assists. I think that's remarkable in and of itself. And for him to lead the league in steals when typically it's a guard or like a wing player, so to speak, Draymond just does it all. He's such, I don't know. I think we take him for granted because he plays next to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But that dude, I think someone said it earlier, him and Metta World Peace are kind of like the glue for teams because of their defensive impact and some of the versatility that you guys mentioned.
Sometimes playing the center, the 5 position.
Yeah, undersized, absolutely.
He's undersized, but he's got great length. He uses his length really well for not being the most athletic guy. The 39% from 3 that one season, I remember there was a couple seasons where he was hitting those open threes that he would get from Klay and Steph, but I didn't realize it was that high. Wow.
Yeah, so going back to the Reddick podcast, he was talking about how he's lost confidence in his three-point shot, but now he's trying to regain it. So maybe this season we'll see him get back to the mid-30s. Who knows? He's been on the upward trend in terms of three-point percentage for the past 2 years. So, and he reached 30% this past year. So who knows?
Going with the look that he had. Now Griffin deep into the clock. Gordon blocked away. Ron Artest.
Now, Jerry, we saw them in the second quarter make up 14 points in no time at all. So they're capable, although it did have to be tougher to get field goals, but to watch the nice timing block by Ron Artest with the offhand. Most shot blockers go to the offhand. In that case, second-year man out of Florida has checked in for the first time. Dudley also on the floor and lost it.
They've got the personnel now. Ron Artest, some of the quickest hands in the NBA. All kinds of mismatches. Davis gets his shot blocked by Artest.
Ball's out on Finley. Here goes Ginobili, left block, keeping Ginobili from going to his left.
So those were just some Ron Artest highlights, but let's get into the numbers. So Ron Artest is listed at 6'7", 260 pounds. I think that's towards the end of his career, because I remember him being a little bit lighter, but he definitely bulked up towards the end. Ron Artest has played for a lot of teams, so I'm just going to go through all the numbers, because there's no rhyme or reason to most of these. He started out with the Chicago Bulls, and from 2000 to 2002, he wore 15. Then he went to the Indiana Pacers, where he wore 15 from 2002 to 2026. Then with the Pacers again for one season in 2003 to 2004, he wore 23 for a brief time. Then in 2005, he wore 91 with the Pacers. So just everywhere with the Pacers. And we'll talk more about the Pacers because there's some interesting numbers there. The Sacramento Kings, he wore 93 from 2006 to 2010. With the Rockets, he wore 96 again. In 2009 with the Lakers, he had two numbers. From 2010 to 2017, he wore 36. And then for 2 seasons, he wore 15 from 2011 to 2013. And he ended his career with the Knicks where he wore 51. So
that's a lot of numbers.
That is a lot of numbers.
I feel like we're playing the lottery right now. Mega
It
Millions.
does feel like the lottery.
Just bet on all the jersey numbers that Metta World Peace wore in his career.
So I went with Metta World Peace's lone All-Star season. But technically, there's 2 seasons that he averaged more points. So the All-Star season was the 2003-2004 season. His second full season with the Pacers, he averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 42% from the field, 31% from the three-point line, and 73% from the foul line. Now, can you tell me one of the 2 other teams that he had a higher scoring year with?
Lakers and Bulls.
No.
I say Sacramento and Houston.
Houston's one. He averaged 20 points with Houston in 57 games, 20 and a half points. This is actually a trick question because before he got suspended for the Malice in the Palace in 2004, 2005, he averaged 24 and a half points per game. But it was a trick question. So, that being said, he averaged 24 and a half points in the 7 games with the Pacers prior to the suspension. So that was pretty impressive to me. Now we're going to the career highs. Over, under, 40 points as a career high.
Over.
Under.
Ben, you are correct. 39 as a career high scoring. Then, for his other stats, total rebounds, 16. Assist, 11. Steals, 8. Blocks, 4. Turnovers, 8. You know, what I really would love to have been able to find, and I wish I could have, was be able to find the career technical fouls for both players. That would have been an absolute steal.
Yeah.
But I do not have that stat available. So, besides that, looking at his stats, just a couple of quick hitters here. He never led the league in anything, but he was a key piece of the Lakers' championship run. We know that. And honestly, the shooting, you know, he wasn't really known as a shooter until he got to LA. So, well, actually Houston, then LA, maybe last year in Sacramento. So, anything in terms of those stats that you guys that stick out with you? I'm going to start with Maurice.
I really do remember Draymond. Not Draymond. I really do remember Ron Artest as not being a great shooter, but 39%, and I would say his prime years with the Pacers is really good. I think the key word for this podcast is versatility, because I think we've all said it already, and it goes for both of them. So, yeah, that really does show his versatility, that he can shoot. Even when he got to the Lakers and, you know, playing with Kobe, that was a year where I do remember that he shot really well.
Draymond's only ever been on the Warriors, and his best statistical offensive numbers came before KD, so they required more from him.
Mm-hmm.
And with Ron Artest, a lot of the teams he was the second or third option, so he kind of had to score. Not as much with the Pacers. That was kind of more of like a very deep team, and Jermaine O'Neal was their primary offensive weapon. But it's a shame, like with him being suspended all that time, that was technically his prime. So I think we missed out on probably his like best statistical offensive era. And just this is kind of tough comparing to like defensive juggernauts because like we like to in basketball talk about offensive numbers. So it is kind of weird. They're not 14 points and 42% aren't like shattering numbers, but that's not what these guys are. They're just like they're locker room guys. They're I mean, Ron Artest, man, I think for a minute there, he was the only guy that could guard Kobe, right? Like, yeah. I mean, he was. Mm-hmm. And so that's how good he was. And then he could guard his center. But yeah, I think the 21 points in Houston, I didn't remember that. So that stood out to me the most, that number.
So I think that the 4 blocks, I thought he would, not that he's some like amazing shot blocker or rim protector, but I would think that he would, for his overall high over his career, like a game high would be more than 4 blocks. The steals I'm not surprised by because, as you heard in the clip, he had really good hands playing the passing lanes, but also being able to move his feet and stay in front of players like Kobe and some of the other best wing players and scorers in NBA history. But I think to show, like Ben was talking about, comparing Metta World Peace to Artest. Oh my God, did I just say that? Comparing Metta World Peace to Draymond Green, the versatility, the grittiness of their style of play, and their willingness to put their bodies on the line to do the things that Kobe didn't probably need to do, as well as like Steph Curry and Clay not having to dive after balls and things like that. So that stands out to me in with those numbers.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing regarding the blocks number. In my opinion, and I saw Houston Ron Artest is where I really got introduced to him as a basketball fan. He never seemed like a vertical player. He always seemed more like a horizontal player, which might explain the block numbers a little bit more.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Third quarter. Accolades.
And the 2017 Kia NBA Defensive Player of the Year goes to Draymond Green.
First off, thank you. It means a lot to get this award from you. Thank the NBA. Most importantly, though, I want to thank God. I know none of this is possible. My mom, my dad, my family, all coaches that I've had, the entire organization, Golden State Warriors, I'm thankful for the opportunity to go out there and do what I love every day. Man, I think I told myself like I was going to have these notes, but I don't even want to look at them. I know I'm going to forget somebody. But my teammates, like this isn't an individual award. It's 5 guys out there on the floor at a time. And like I can't do this all by myself, so I appreciate them. With KD and Clay not making the all-defensive team, I appreciate everything they do. So once again, thank everybody. Shout out to my daughter and my son. I love them. Thank y'all.
All right, guys, that was Draymond Green accepting the Defensive Player of the Year award. All right, we're going to jump into some accolades about Draymond. And I got to just start it off with, you guys already know this, just my favorite accolade, 4-time NBA champion, 2015, 2017, 2018, and then 2022. All right, how many times was Draymond Green an All-Star? Let's start off with you, Uriah.
3 times.
2.
4.
Lucas, you are the winner.
Yeah.
He's a 4-time NBA All-Star, 2016 to 2018.
Lucas is smirking right now for people
2022.
Like he's just glimmering with pride.
I had to do the stats research, so of course I'm going to find out All-Star questions. That's
all right.
It's easy.
4 seems to be Draymond's number for, currently, And then Draymond was a 2-time All-NBA selection, All-NBA second team in 2016, and then he was All-NBA third team in 2017. As Uriah already played, he did win the Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. Controversial. People feel like he should have had more. All right, this is probably his most, I would say, accomplished accolades, his most impressive. But how many All-NBA defensive teams do you guys think he has been a part of?
All defense. I'm going to go 8.
Okay. Lucas?
I'm going to say 7, because I know he missed most of a year in, 2020, 2021, one of those 2 years. But I'm going to say from 2015. Yeah, I'm going to say 7.
And Uriah?
I like how Lucas calculates things in his head. He's like staring up at the ceiling like, I'm going to go with Lucas because he seems to know everything about these players right now. So I'm going to say 7.
Maurice, you were the winner.
What?
8. Yeah, and I think what shocked me, it makes sense because he still locks guys down. I was surprised he's All-NBA second team this past year, past 2 years. I thought.
But he missed one, didn't he?
He 2020 he missed one. So
That's what I was thinking.
He would have had a 9-year straight, which could be really impressive. 9-year straight All-NBA defensive team. But in 2020, what Lucas said, because of injuries, and I think that was the year they were tanking for the top pick, right?
Oh, he got all defensive team 2014, 15?
No, 2015 to 2023. He was an All-NBA either first team or second team, 8 out of 9 years.
So you're saying this guy who, starting his third season was an all-defensive player, starting his third season.
Yeah, and first team, right away, first team. No. It was his third year.
No, I'm looking it up on NBA's basketball reference right now. His first one was the 14-15 season, and it was first team.
Yeah, that was his third year in the league.
Third year, yep.
Yeah, and he would have had 9 straight. I do believe that had Golden State. That year everyone was hurt after KD left. There was a lot of rest, so. Pretty impressive given and just the positions he's playing, you see him, it's who is he not guarding? He's guarding everyone. I mean, he locks down Giannis, Embiid. He gives Jokic a little bit of trouble. He locks down guards. So just his ability to guard every position is unbelievable. There's one more. It's not that exciting. What do you guys think it is? There's one more stat that he was a leader of. What do you think it is? I'll start with you, Lucas.
Well, it was steals in the NBA, right? 2015-16? I said that already, right?
It was 2017, but that's it. So again, he's a much more decorated, as Uriah said, college player offensively. For me, it's all the defense, and it's the 4-time NBA champion, which is just how many guys can say that? But that's it. That's his accolades. What stands out to you, Maurice?
What stands out to me is when I think of the Golden State Warriors, I can't imagine them being a 4-time champions without Draymond Green. He's been very pivotal to that team. I don't think they win a championship with just Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Agreed. I think he's that important to that team, and he does so many different things.
So when I'm thinking about it, and Maurice put a thought into my head, the Golden State Warriors and Draymond Green would not have had the 8-year, 9-year run that they've had without each other. Because I think it's fair to say without the 3-point shooting, it's hard to say where Draymond Green would be in his career. And without his playmaking and defensive versatility, it's hard to say how many championships Golden State would have actually won. I'm not saying that Draymond Green wouldn't have been a great player, because I think he is, and I think he would have been okay in any situation. But I think he probably would have bounced around a few teams more like Metta World Peace, and maybe not have had the playoff success that he did without the Golden State Warriors, and vice versa.
Yeah, I like that. And you brought it up, Lucas. The he is one of the, it's not in these accolades, but he is one of the best passing bigs. So,
and before Uriah goes, Draymond was a beneficiary of being in a great franchise, in a great organization as well.
I think he's essential, like you guys were saying, to the success of the Warriors. You take him out, it's really improbable that they make the runs that they did because he's such a selfless player, willing to not be the focal point of an offensive system. He didn't have to, but he could have been like other players in history and said, I need my touches, I need my shots, but he's never been that type of player. Not the flashiest player. He just gets the job done. And I think the accolade that stands out to me is the number of all NBA teams, Ben, that you said that he was. And that just tells you that his worth or his value goes beyond points. And I think for him to make it to those teams without being an 18, 19, 20-point scorer speaks to his influence on the team and in the league.
Yeah, and one other thing before we transition to the other player, a stat that came on after, because Dame got traded, right? Spoiler alert, if anyone's listening, he got traded. And the three players who have been with the same team the longest are all in the Golden State Warriors. 15 years for Steph, 12, I believe, for Clay, and 11 for Draymond. Think about that. I mean, that is
consistency.
That's it right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody in my hood. Thank the Worldwide Warriors, Rockfell, my wife, Tim, my family, my kids, everybody. I definitely want to thank my doctor, Dr. Sandy, my psychiatrist. She really helped me relax a lot. Thank you so much. It's so difficult to play. There's so much commotion going on in the playoffs, and she helped me relax. I thank you so much.
Ron, you were able to
knock down that three.
Yes, that was a huge shot. Your late three. Yes, no question. Ron, again.
And my single coming out now. Talk to me. I got a single. It's called Champion. I did a song called Champion last June.
I'm going to let him go, guys.
And the single is coming out. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
All right.
That's
original.
Clip.
He thanked the psychiatrist. Never heard that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Wow. So Ron Artest has similar accolades to Draymond, very similar player. This is a really good comparison. He was the clip we just heard was after he won the championship in 2010. He was an NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers with Kobe Bryant. And how many All-Star games has Ron Artest been a part of? I'm going to start with you, Lucas.
1.
All right. And Uriah?
Well, I'm going to wait for Maurice because Maurice was right last time. So go ahead, Maurice.
All right, Maurice.
I think Lucas knows the answer. Lucas has a cheat sheet, so I'm going to go with Lucas, say 1.
All right. Yep. I'll go with Maurice.
What?
All right. So everyone is correct. He is only he shouldn't say only. He is a one-time NBA All-Star in 2004. What else did he accomplish in 2003-2004 season with the Pacers? I'm going to start with Uriah.
With the Pacers, I'd say he was the steals leader. I don't know. I'm just a guess right there.
6 man.
He got all defensive team and all NBA.
So in 2004, Lucas is right. Everyone is kind of right. Well, you're right. He was not the steals leader that year, unfortunately. He's actually never been the steals leader. In 2004, it's kind of a bummer because this guy, again, I think we missed a couple years of this guy's prime.
Yeah.
2004, he was an NBA All-Star, All-NBA third team, NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
I forgot about that one.
And he was All-NBA Defensive First Team. The following season, I think that team won over 60 games, if I'm correct. I know they were the 1 seed, and they were right there with the Pistons. And I feel like he would have more accolades, in my opinion, given that was literally the year before Malice in the Palace. So,
yeah, we talked about this in our Reggie Miller comparison. I think it's safe to say Ron Artest would have been an All-Star the 04-05 season if he wasn't suspended.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and he also might have
been
been a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, this is when Ben Wallace was repeated Defensive Player of the Year, too.
Yeah. Lucas, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to agree. I mean, he started out the season strong with 24.5 points per game.
Yeah, that was a good team, too. And then he actually came back and still got All-NBA Defensive Team 2 years later in 2006.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. If Malice and Palace did not happen, would the Pacers have beaten the Spurs in the NBA Finals?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they would have.
I think that core, we're talking about Draymond, right? He got to stay with this core, and we know like that matters. Like the Bulls, like you have to keep a consistency, and I think that team finally found it, and they didn't get to. It got broken up. Reggie retired. Like, I mean, it was a disaster. Okay. So he is a 4-time All-NBA Defensive Team, 2 first team, 04-06, 2-time second team, 03-09. And he was the NBA All-Rookie second team in 2000 with Chicago. And that's about it. What stands out to you, Uriah, with that?
I think that the whole argument about that season, Malice at the Palace, the accolades he could have added to his resume, I think that's legit. As far as our test for Defensive Player of the Year, which is a huge deal, going through everything he went through and dealing with whatever demons and he could have really went left because of all the things he was dealing with internally, emotionally, but he was able to channel his focus with his teams, particularly I think being with Reggie Miller. I think at that point of his life kind of helped focus him. And then later playing with Kobe definitely helped streamline his attention toward a goal. But I just want to put this out there. Do you guys know who he beat out that season for Defensive Player of the Year? Not one is obvious, but I'll be impressed if you know both.
Ben Wallace.
Ben is one. Who's the other?
Kobe.
Not Kobe.
Kevin Garnett.
No, but it is a big man. Maurice, last chance.
Mutombo?
Close. Theo Ratliff.
Who?
Theo Ratliff.
Wow.
He was third that season for Defensive Player of the Year.
Good grab.
And last thing I want to say is it's ironic that Ron Artest won the award the same day that he was suspended for leaving the bench during an altercation versus the Celtics in the playoffs. So getting announced he's Defensive Player of the Year that season, he was suspended that day. So there's some irony in that.
I'm still tripped up on that clip, Uriah. That was just like, it was a really good clip. All right, Maurice, what stands out to you of these accolades?
Well, going back to what you're saying about the clip, I love the growth there. To shout out his therapist as he's winning the championship, just become a world champion. You shout out your therapist. I love that growth. That says a lot to me.
Lucas, what stands out to you?
That I think that he should have probably had a few more all defensive player nominations, but I think Malice in the Palace really soured, his name to voters.
Yeah, for the rest of his career, that put a black stain on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 04 season really stands out to me. Just I keep saying it, but the amount, the potential there. I feel like he could have had a few more years like that.
Fourth quarter, teammates.
Draymond is one of the greatest assist man in sports because he does that thing where he flips it to you and he throws his body immediately into your defender. And people don't know how underrated that is, because me and Steph rely on him and our bigs to get open a lot. So you got to be in tune. The offense we run is like a working clock, and you got so many components that are just doing this. And Draymond's a big part of that.
So talk about Draymond Green right now. If right now the way you guys play, a lot of your shots and Steph, come from the play Draymond. Without Draymond, you think like you guys?
I don't think me and Steph would have the success we did because me and Steph are such nice guys.
Yeah,
that we might not have that. Whether it's intimidating factor or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Draymond, when he came and coach put him in the starting lineup, he's got such an edge to him. He might not be the most skilled player out there, but he will do anything and everything he can to win the game.
All right. Let's talk about Draymond Green and his teammates. Drafted in the 2012 NBA draft, Draymond's played with one team only, as we know. His best two teammates are Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, obviously.
Really? I was actually going to disagree. I thought it was Kevon Looney and
Harrison Barnes.
Gary Payton. Yeah.
Gary Payton II.
Zaza.
Yeah. And I do this every time with the most wins, but I think it's obvious that Steph Curry's had the most wins with Draymond with 560, and Klay is right behind him with 530. This is a world-class caliber organization, and these guys have been together for 11, 9, 10 years together. So they have all the chemistry, 4 championships, but I have to ask the question. So this is the question I'm asking you guys. What win percentage does Steph and Klay have with Draymond Green? Because they're right next to each other. So I'm going to put the over-under at 72.
I go under.
Over.
With both of them together?
Yeah.
Over.
The answer is Uriah. Under.
Ooh. I know that was a trick one. It's probably really close to that percent, right?
Both Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, well, Steph Curry's case, he has a 71.3 win percentage with Draymond. And with Klay, a 71.2% win percentage. Now, that's, you playing together for 10 years, you have a 71% win percentage. That's pretty darn good. Some of Draymond's teammates, Andrew Bogut, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Looney, Zaza Pachulia, David Lee, Andre Iguodala, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yep.
Let me throw some names out there that you haven't heard of in a while. Sean Livingston.
Yeah.
That's Lucas's guy.
Kent Bazemore.
I remember him.
Wow. I forgot that guy.
Let me see what that guy.
Yeah, he was he was on that Atlanta team, and he
he was a good player. Eric Paschal, Nick Young, and Andrew Wiggins. And of course, last but not least, Kevin Durant. Now, I think this is a pretty obvious, easy question. I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. How many championships without Draymond Green do you think the Golden State Warriors win, if any?
0.
I would say 1. I'll tell you why. They swept some of those Cavs teams. They dominated some of those Cavs teams. So I would say at least 1. I think they win at least. They could win 1 without.
Okay, so let me throw the curveball at you guys. With Kevin Durant, I don't think we included him. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson.
Exactly.
Do they win a championship?
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, just because there was one of the wasn't Kyrie hurt one of those finals the Cavs LeBron was carrying those guys. Yeah.
So hang on, I thought of a little mystery question for you, Maurice. Mm-hmm. Can you name the teammate that is currently on the Golden State Warriors that Draymond Green had beef with a few years ago?
Well, it's not Jordan Poole. He's not there anymore.
No, I mean currently on the roster.
Currently on the roster.
It was a big to-do about it, too. Happened within the past.
2023 roster.
Dario Saric?
Nope.
I'm stumped. Tell me.
Rodney Magruder.
Oh, that's an obscure name. Okay.
That is very obscure.
Well, no, him and Rodney got into it when Rodney was a part of the Pistons, and Draymond Green said this guy's about to be out of the league. And lo and behold, he gets on the Warriors training camp roster. Thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, as far as teammates, clearly Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are the beneficiaries, and Klay Thompson said it himself that Draymond did a lot of the little things that helped get them open on jump shots or 3-point shots. As far as, we're not even going to touch on the incident, but I think overall you hear people praise Draymond as a great teammate, and not only as a production aspect with assists, steals, and blocks, but also just the leadership aspect, being vocal and being that guy, that glue guy that can get guys on the same page. And I think that's something that gets overlooked. I think teammates will attest to that in terms of what he brought to that championship team.
Yeah, and real quick, as we're recording this, going into the new season of 2023, Chris Paul is on the team now. So that's another leader that's been around, that's looking for his first championship.
Yeah, I would say with the teammates, it's just the fit, man. Like, the fit is just, they're the perfect teammates. I mean, you've got two of the best shooters of all time, one of the best passing bigs, screeners. His screening is unbelievable. Like, he just can screen anyone. He might be the best screener in the league. Just to have that, like, what a privilege for, Clay and Steph to have that their whole career. So, or most of their career. So, yeah, just the fit. And you kind of saw it in the 2022 run once they were all back. Just like, oh, wow, these guys are just like, it's like the 90s Bulls, in my opinion. Just the fit was just perfect teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Players bounce off of him. Talk about how that's going to increase your confidence when you're out of the game and you're able to send in someone who's similar to your mentality.
Well, my confidence was always high. Even with Trevor last year, we did a lot of that tag teaming ourselves. I think, the added feature that Ron has is 265.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's his weight, and him being able to guard some fours as well. And but yeah, I mean, he has the same mentality that I have in terms of defensively getting after guys, and it's going to be exciting to try to tag team some of these players.
Okay, let's talk about Metta World Peace. At that time, Ron Artest, Metta World Peace, was drafted in the 1999 NBA draft by the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Chicago Bulls weren't really a competitive team, but they did have some good players on their roster as well. Elton Brand, Tony Kukoc was still there. Hershey Hawkins, B.J. Armstrong was still there. I guess he returned at that point. Greg Anthony, some guys who were drafted high but didn't really turn out to be anything, like Marcus Fizer, Khalid El-Amin. We talked about him earlier. He was on that Bulls team in 2000, 2001. And Jamal Crawford. Now, Metta World Peace was traded to the Indiana Pacers. And we can just move on to them because that was the more sort of prime of Ron Artest's career at that point. And the Pacers were a really competitive team, 60-win team. So they had some really good players on their team. Jermaine O'Neal, Reggie Miller, Jamal Tinsley, Al Harrington, Steven Jackson, Scott Pollard, and Danny Granger at the end in the 05-06 season. I think we talked about the Pacers earlier and what they could have done, but I'll go around the room one more time and ask you guys, what do you guys remember about some of them teammates that I've talked about so far, the Bulls and Pacers?
I'll lead it off. I forgot he had Elton Brand because Elton Brand was the number one pick. Mm-hmm. So that was the year 2. And then I think Fizer was in 2000 and he was a high draft. I think he was a 3rd or 4th pick. And so they had all these I'm a little surprised they didn't, because like I said in the accolades, Artest was actually all rookie team. So he showed promise right away. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't kind of work that out. Thinking about that early, that's what stood out to me with the teammates was that his early in his career, the Bulls didn't invest in him more.
Based off of what I know, Chicago was dumpster fire. I think that's after Michael Jordan, Krause just could not keep that team together and or reorganize it. I think that's why that didn't work there. Look, with Indiana, that was a really good team, and it could have been a good team for a very long time, but issues happen because, you could have had Reggie Miller until Danny Granger was ready, and then Danny Granger was golden. That could have been a really good team for a really long time, but Malice at the Palace happened, so we have to move on from that.
It was Jamal Crawford. I think he was on that team too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he did mention that.
Yeah, Lucas, great call, man, with the post-Jordan Bulls. It was just tragedy. You're completely right. They didn't know what they had or didn't. Yeah.
The fact that Maurice mentioned B.J. Armstrong and Hersey Hawkins, those are names blasts from the past. But I have nothing to add about Pacers because that roster was stacked. And I think Artest was such an important part of that team. And Reggie Miller says it all the time about Artest, how good he was and important to that team.
Yeah. And moving on a little bit, Ron Artest also played with the Sacramento Kings. This was 05. So this was a little after their run as contenders in the West. Just real quick, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Mike Bibby, Kevin Martin, just to name a few from the Kings. And moving on to the Houston Rockets. This is the end of Yao Ming's run.
Mm-hmm.
Injury started to catch up with him in 08-09. Shane Battier, Rayford Austin, Tracy McGrady, and Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, look, that was the end of the run for both Tracy and Yao, because they were both injuries were starting to catch up with the both of them. And I remember the playoff series they had against Portland and Mutombo breaking his ankle, which effectively ended his career because he was 42 at the time?
He was old, yeah.
He was old. He was still a really good backup center. That's crazy.
I feel like the Rockets, I always forget about that team because the West wasn't that deep back then. I mean, the league just wasn't that top heavy back then because the Spurs were kind of just running through everyone during that era. And
there's either Spurs or Lakers, yeah.
Yeah, I love the Spurs, but if you look at teams like today, I don't think they would have won that many chips.
I think that team was lost potential because if they would have had a healthy Yao and healthy McGrady with the rest of that supporting cast, that would have been a really hard team to beat in the playoffs.
We move on to the Metta World Peace championship season with the Lakers. Obviously, Kobe Bryant was the star there, and together with him and Ryan Artest, in the short span that they played together, they had 203 wins together, which is the most Ron Artest has had with one other person. And on that team, they had Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom,
Dwight,
Steve,
right?
No, Dwight came after.
Yeah, Dwight came in 2012, the 2012-2013 season.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. And Lamar Odom, I mentioned Lamar Odom, mentioned Andrew Bynum, and Steve Nash came towards the end of his career also. Steve Nash and Dwight Howard came the same season, 2012-2013.
Gotcha. So the last year that he was in LA.
Yeah. That was when the Lakers started to, bring in all the superstar players to help Kobe, and it didn't work out.
No, it did not.
No, it didn't.
Fit. You can't just have a bunch of, Maurice, it's funny. I don't know if you guys see this a lot, but Kobe fans will always post this team won a chip, and it's the guys you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's so many all-stars, defensive player of the years in that. And it's just Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Artest, Andrew Bynum in his prime. And it's just weird that people underrate the talent on that team. Mm-hmm. And just again, we were talking about fit, and going back to, that Uriah's that clip, man. I mean, it says it all. I'm really happy that he got a second chance or a third chance, and just like I said, he has a really good message, about overcoming adversity and just getting second chances and talking about that. I think that's human. It's really good to see.
The reason why I love these comparisons is I think, Maurice, you flesh out some key distinctions in these great players. And one of the theme that I hear, I think Ben mentioned it earlier, is continuity. Seeing Draymond play with the same team for his entire career. And then Lucas comes with the lottery numbers of all the jerseys that Metta World Peace wore. Well, I think it's fair to say that had he had some continuity, particularly with either the Lakers or the Pacers, he would have had as many accolades and as many championships. Both great players, but that stop in Sacramento and Houston was, I don't want to say a waste of his career, but I think he's just as good as Draymond because of the impact that he had. And obviously the teammates matter too.
Yeah. And just to wrap up, just to finish this up, Metta World Peace went back home to New York. He played a season 2013-2014 with the Knicks. Carmelo, Amon Shumpert, Raymond Felton, Andre Bargnani, and J.R. Smith. And he ended his career back with the Lakers in the 2017 season.
So I want to say something real quick about the importance of Ron going to LA, because I think with the type of personality that Kobe Bryant is, Kobe Bryant saved Ron Artest's career, because I think, and his legacy, because I think Kobe would be a quote unquote Ron whisperer. He got him.
Yeah.
He got him and he let him be him. And if you want to make another comparison here, Ron is the Dennis Rodman of that group. If you want to make
we're gonna get Rodman someday.
Yeah,
we'll get
I know. I'm just saying.
That's a good one though.
I want to tie that in together because it kind of like the MJ Rodman relationship kind of mirrors the Kobe Ron Artest relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now that we've set up the debate with all the facts on Draymond Green and Metta World Peace, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinion. It's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform, ready to check out your takes. Chime in on our Instagram at NBA_NowAndThen_pod, on Twitter at NBA_NowAndThen, and on our Facebook page, NBA Now and Then.
All right, everybody, thanks for checking in with us. We'll see you next time on NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons.
Have a good day.
See ya.
See ya.